Hi.
So, hi.
How are
Very
you?
good to see you.
Good here again. How's this weather treating you?
Sorry?
How's the weather treating you?
It's very
It's
nice.
been really hot.
I mean, it's good to get away from France,
Yeah,
honestly.
exactly. To be in a tropical place.
Yeah. So, because we haven't met before, I just wanted to quickly introduce myself. I'm Rosa, and I'm the global head of research for Pharma Caring.
Nice to meet you, Rosa.
I have a PhD in chemistry, and I've quite some experience in pharma, as you can imagine.
Okay.
What about yourself?
Well, I'm the VP of logistics in Super Pharma. It's a company
Mhm.
based in Singapore,
Yeah.
and I've been working with Super Pharma for about 20 years now.
Mhm.
I started as a regular salesman, and then I got my MBA. I took some courses in logistics, and here I am. I've been VP for the past 6 years.
Yeah.
And it's been going really well. We've been doing some really good advances. We've been
Mhm.
diversifying a little bit, going into syringes, going into tools, going into really hard medicines to find
Mhm.
because we've been making some really good breakthrough there.
Okay.
And this is it. That's why we have been really working on diversifying in location where we find the materials for our medicines,
Yes.
because it turns out it's going to be in really hard places.
Okay. Yeah,
And
that's
why
very
you see me
interesting.
here in this tropical weather.
Yeah, I know. We have a similar challenge, but actually from a very different angle. So we're, as you might have heard, we're cancer. Like we mainly focus on cancer. So I mean, yeah, we're also like a slightly different approach, but
So you're only based in your company. I've heard about it, but only in the news and some readings in Financial Times.
yeah, mostly
But
we look at cancer treatment,
okay.
and yes, so we're looking at very different substances, of course, and then yeah, this particular plant, Oxipouco, is very it might give us some promise in some of our research actually.
Oh, okay. Which type of cancer?
It's leukemia actually.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And did you already develop something, or you just have an idea that Oxipouco will help? Like, did you start developing a medicine and you're like in some certain phases in the clinical development, or it's just
Yeah, we're actually already in it. We already passed the first phase of testing.
so clinical phase 1.
Yes.
Okay.
I think currently we're at phase 2, but just so you know, what I ideally wanted to discuss is like, what I want to understand is like we're here to make a joint proposal.
Exactly.
I think the best way to approach it is to look, what do we need? Like, what is really what we need, both of us, and what are our company that is behind us basically requires from us here. The demand is very limiting. I mean, from the information I have, at least, we have 10,000 fruits per year that we could harvest.
Because any more than that will hurt the ecosystem.
Exactly, but that also means like there's as I understand, the minimum bid of 4,000 per fruit, and of course we're just one of the people that would put in a proposal, but there might be other bidders as well. So I think what we could look at is like what are you specifically looking for with this plant, and also what is your how do you want to set up, like if you are interested in setting
a joint proposal.
Yeah, exactly. Then we should look at like what is our tactic, because I can already tell you that we would really need to get the maximum of number of plants, a number of pieces of fruits,
okay,
to make sure that we can go to the next phase of our leukemia testing. Because so we've actually found a very, very good substance that would help us in our next phase of testing of leukemia.
Which is clinical 3.
Yes, and we need to ramp it up. So we need higher volumes. We already have small volumes, but we need to ramp it up to the next level.
And did you try like synthetically producing the?
Yeah, so it's not the substance that I'm talking about is currently not. It's not possible to do it synthetically. That
So
would require extra research, and therefore, our project would have such a delay with such a huge impact on leukemia patients, that we feel that this is really important for us to take the next step in.
And what did you make in like a lot of progress in the clinical phase 2, or it's still in the testing phase, or it's still not sure that it will work 100%, or I just need to know how far
so in general,
did you go into the process of clinical phase 2?
Yeah, so in general, I think, as you might know, in pharma, it's like the different phases, of course, in total, it can be a 10 to 20 year process.
Exactly. We
And
have the preclinical, the
yeah,
preclinical
exactly.
phases, the
So we're in
approval
the
from
second
FDA.
phase, and we really, you know, in the
And
second
how long
phase.
have you been there? Like from, if I may ask, from the preclinical to the phase 2, the time duration? Has it been like around 10? Or
Honestly, sorry, I don't have that information available right
okay.
now. But I can share that with you later.
Okay.
But maybe you can tell me a bit more about how you would want to use this plant, because I think I've explained a little bit about our research, but it would be good to know what is your specific purpose.
To be quietly frank with you, we were a bit shocked from the proposal of the Brazilian government.
Yeah.
Because we were the first, as you know, we are partly funded from the Singaporean government, and we were the first people to lead the trip to the Amazon 12 years ago. We sent anthropologists, we sent scientists, we sent physicists, biochemists to observe the behavior of certain tribes based on historical information.
Yes.
And then it turns out that there's a common tribe that uses the Lichius Oxipouco, and it turns out that this substance, when it's isolated, it can prove to be an efficient treatment against Alzheimer. So we convinced the Brazilian government to do this trip. We allocated all the resources, we did it at our own risk.
Yeah.
And then when it turns out that this Oxipouco compound is promising, the Brazilian government allowed for a certain number, which it was, if I'm not mistaken, 100 fruit or 120 fruit.
Yeah.
So we took this number of fruits, it turns out that it was promising, and then when the results started to showing, we lobbied the Brazilian government, we put a lot of government connection, NGOs, multinational, and convinced the Brazilian government to go up to 10,000.
Can I just ask specifically, so with this fruit, what part of the fruit are you really using? Do you have something
The essence,
specific?
yes, as you know, it's a fruit and it has the nut inside of it.
Yeah.
So what we're taking is everything besides the nut, and since now it's public information, 2 days ago, we took the patent of extracting the Oxipouco from the fruit, and we're the only company who also registered the patent for using the Oxipouco for Alzheimer.
Yes.
So we have 2 patents. One, the extraction of the Oxipouco.
But extraction, you mean the juice?
The juice and the compound, because from the juice we are able, like the vitamins, you take a lemon, you squeeze it, you get the juice, and from the juice you're able to extract the vitamin C.
Okay.
So the same thing is happening with Oxipouco. We take it, we remove the nut, we keep it for stem cells research, and from the juice we took the patent to extract the active compound, which is the Oxipouco.
Yeah.
This is, and
I
then
must say, sorry to interrupt you, but I'm very glad that you found something for Alzheimer as well. I mean, we're not competing for diseases, right?
Exactly.
I think that's very important to note here. I just wanted to note, I think we can come to a solution here. Do you have any indication of how many fruits per year you would need?
not less than 9,500.
Not less than 95. Okay. And do you have any financial constraints? Because I'm aware that we also have to bid against any potential other
Alright, the only reason
bidders.
why we're not financially constrained and why we thought of cooperation,
Yes.
because we can go for the whole period, for the whole amount.
Yep.
The only reason we can go for the whole amount is because we're in production. So if I take the fruits today, tomorrow you have the medicine in the market. I passed the preclinical, clinical phase 1, 2, 3, we got the FDA approval.
Yes, so basically the
So
full
from
process.
now to 5 years, I need this certain number, because in 5 years I'll be able to clinically produce the Oxipouco, and then we can keep the
the
fruits
synthetic production.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes, in terms of synthetic production, we're on the same line. So as I understand correctly, you would need to have basically around 9,500 per year for the next 5 years.
Exactly.
And so just to be clear, We also require 10,000 oxypocus per year for the next 5 years. And just can you a little bit go further into the financial constraints? Like, are there no financial constraints at
We
all?
have no financial constraint for one reason.
Yes.
One, we take the fruits today, the medicine tomorrow is
Yeah.
in the market.
So
Three,
profit.
44
fast.
million. It's not about profit.
Okay.
It's about 44 million Alzheimer patients
Okay.
who from now to 3-4 years will be fully recovered. In the
Mhm.
US alone, they spent 236 billion US dollar just to treat these.
Yes.
This is why we're financially unconstrained,
Right. Okay.
because all the money that can be taken to care about the people that are in their last phase of dementia,
Yes.
it can be easily cured.
Okay.
And this is why we're unfinancially constrained, because you get the fruit today, tomorrow we're able to deliver this to around 5 million patients,
So what
plus
is?
all the costs associated, plus all the media coverage.
Mhm.
So everything that will be put in the media that we were unable to get the fruits to cure those 5 to 6 million patients immediately
Yes.
is a negative media coverage for the Brazilian government, and I'm really sure that they're not aware of that.
Okay.
And this is why we have a lot of NGOs that we are financially unrestricted.
And so what do you think about the competition, just to get an idea? We have a minimum bid of 4,000. If we combine forces, and let's just step aside from the number of oxypocus we would require, each of us, every year, how much would you, like, do you have any information regarding other bidders or other people on the market that
There
are
are 3-4 companies that are still in phase 1. And
of the
they
same,
No, in a different, and to be quietly honest with you, like the preclinical and the 3 clinical phases
yes,
and the production, it took 12 years,
yes,
which is a record thing.
yes,
The other
very
people
fast.
spent 10 years and they're still in phase 1, just for the single fact that we are the only patent company in extracting the Oxipouco.
Mhm.
And since they're not allowed to use the same extraction method, they're working on a different extraction method. And this
Mhm.
is what's taking them a lot of time. This
Yeah.
is why I know that competition-wise, we're completely safe. They won't be able to
You mean
extract it.
you don't think there will be other players like for this specific the juice extraction for this element?
And if they extracted the juice, the
Mhm.
second is we're the only one patented to use it in Alzheimer treatment.
Yes.
Because the compound as itself, it's for the nature. We're not
Yeah.
allowed to say no one can use Oxipouco, and as you say, you're starting
Yeah,
to use
exactly.
it.
But
And
the
you will patent
the
it.
fruit is protected, so that's
Exactly.
main
No, it's
concern.
not about the fruit. It's in nature.
Yeah.
Like I cannot just say that I can use the orange juice to cure something.
Yes.
It's for the nature. But to use Oxipouco for Alzheimer,
Mhm.
this is patented.
Yes.
And this is why there's no other company can cure Alzheimer using the Oxipouco that fast.
Yeah. So if we talk about numbers here, what do you think are combined? Like, what do you want to put on the table per fruit? And then I can discuss what I would want to put on the table for
The
each
only
fruit.
reason that I can go down to us taking 8,000 and you taking 2,000 for many
So,
reasons.
so not the number of maybe not the number
I'm
of fruits.
unconstrained by the
but
price. I'm more concerned about the number.
Okay, because I have I think we have a win. We could not a win. We could have
A win-win
we
process.
could have a very good outcome for both of us, because I think what you're really looking for is the extract of the juice of the fruit. And for our process, because we're completely targeting a different component from the same fruit actually, we would require the flesh part of the fruit. So actually, if I think about it, we don't even need the same part of each of the plant. So we could think about a combining deal that we put in a bid that's high enough to make sure that none of the other competitors would actually put a bid like that. Just to be clear, like, you know for sure you don't have competition, but we're not so sure about that. So I want to make sure that our bid is high enough. We are financially constrained.
No, but if we submit a joint bid, no one else would bid. The bid will go public if we don't agree.
Okay.
So if we agree on something,
Yes.
then there will be no bid.
Okay.
And this is why what I can do is I can reach an agreement with you
Yes.
that I can take around 9,000 fruit, you can take 1,000, and then I take the juice, and what's remaining from the flesh, you can take it. I don't need it.
Okay.
But because if I want to bid for the 9,000, it will be collusion. They will storm on us. And I'm
So
interested.
I think I understand your thinking, but I have a slightly different approach. I think what we could do is set up a contract where we say, maybe like a 10%, 90%, where we hold like that amount because that's like a comfortable number for you. But then we would say all the flesh, but we need a guarantee in a contract that says all the flesh of all these, the 9,000 that you will be using to extract the juice will go to us, so that we have the compound that we need, which is a completely different compound for our research. Would that be something that you're willing to look at, to set up a contract, where basically we say that you will get you will get the fruits first, you will make sure you extract the flesh, and you will make sure that all the flesh of the, so you will extract the juice, and after this process you will bring us the pieces of flesh of the plant. Does that sound good?
I have no problem with that.
Okay.
But
yeah.
my main point is now I want to propose a bid for the Brazilian government that says 9,000 with 1,000 and a low price, so that we don't make them too greedy. Which is they set up the minimum price 4,000. I'm not gonna go for that. It's too
for
too
one
suspicious.
fruit. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. We can go like for 4,500. It's $500 more per fruit, but it's the price we're paying to make this agreement, which is I'm willing to pay. And after we make the 9,000, 1,000, they will deliver to you to 1,000. They deliver to me the 9,000. You give me back the 1,000. I extract the juice, and you can have a representative of your company during the process, so that you can make sure that the flesh is not harmed. If you have different processes, you can talk. We can have like certain agreements. I'm fine with that, because I'm interested in having a representative of your company in the extraction process, so that we make sure nothing in harm, of course, without. And maybe if you can bring your extraction facilities, that would be more safe for you. We can talk about that.
That sounds very good.
Yes.
And just one final check. So you mentioned, so we do have a financial constraint, and that's why it's also for us very helpful that we can work together. Constraint? Well, I mean 4,000 is a lot for us, and I think, but if you maybe we can get to a deal where we like, I understand that basically we'll use half of the plant, right?
Okay.
And if you we almost need to leave for our next meeting, but I would be happy.
Rosa, you're stuttering. What we can do? What's your maximum price that you can go for?
2,000.
Fine. I can give you the remaining 2,500 for the 1,000 fruit that you need, on two conditions. Actually,
so 2,000, and then you have 2,500. So we can put in a bid for 500. And you say you're 100% sure that if we are the first one to put in a joint bid for 10,000 pieces, that will be hand delivered to you for 9,000 and 1,000 for us, so that we can already start?
Yes, and what you do, you give me the 1,000.
Yeah, so basically we'll exchange afterwards.
Exchange afterwards?
So the only question I have here, but maybe let's, I'm fine to draft up a deal here. Let's look at our facilities, because I am honestly not sure if we can give you the juice, because we don't have these extraction methods. So let's set up the deal, but worst case we can still give you the fresh ones if our extraction methods don't work, because we need a flesh, right?
No, but you need to give me the 1,000 before you start anything, and I can do the extraction.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'll give you is I'll give you 10,000.
So we signed the deal today. I give you 2,500. We bid. I take 9,000, delivered by the Brazilian government. The Brazilian government deliver 1,000 for you.
Yes.
This is done. The next day you deliver these 1,000 for me. You bring a company representative. I start with the extraction process.
Yeah.
I take the juice. Extraction. You take the flesh.
Yeah.
And I might require some, I won't say premiums, but when you start producing the medicine, if it goes well, I might require some selling rights.
Selling rights?
Not selling rights. Because when you start producing the medicine, you will hold the patent for it, right?
Yes, that's right.
And you will be the only company able to sell this for leukemia
Well,
for
um,
leukemia patients, right? For the past 20 years, for the next 20 years after you start.
well, the question is if our trials work, of course, then yes.
So what you
There's
can
still
do-
so for me, like in the R&D process, there's still a risk of that it won't make it, right. So of course we want to make sure that we put our best effort in.
we can help you with that.
And also, I'm happy to negotiate. I mean, maybe we're overcomplicating it. I'm happy to negotiate a very small percentage on that. But then on the other hand, what I would also need is I'm taking a risk of sending the 9,000 to you, and like getting the flash. Then some might be damaged, some might be
Yeah,
not
but
able to
taking
use.
the risk of sending these 9,000 to me
Yes.
is much less than taking the risk of going to negotiation when I can go like full price on each Oxipouco.
Yes, that's definitely true. But in the end, we want to cure most of the diseases in the world, and yes, it's business. But you also mentioned like
This is
if we
why I
can
would
make
like
it ideal for both of us, I would prefer that.
exactly.
Yes.
So we start with this contract, and maybe on our next meeting we can discuss, because I'm giving you 2,500 per shoot, and this
Yes.
is not gonna go as a bank loan.
No, but I'm also putting in 2,000, and I'm
Exactly.
only getting 1,000. So relatively, like the direct fruit we get.
Because I'm also really interested in establishing. We can help you with the R&D.
Mhm.
You can get some of our expertise. You can get of our funding, and for future joint cooperation in the leukemia medicine. This Oxipouco deal will be the start of a future
Okay.
cooperation. We can discuss that in meeting number 2. But
Okay.
because we
I
can
just want to guarantee that you will bring the flesh product to me like in a matter of days after the extraction.
that's why
just to be very-
that's why I insisted before you saying to have a company representative from your side
Yes.
in the process. And if
Okay.
you have a better extraction process, I don't mind using that too.
Okay.
Do you have a extraction process or not yet?
No, we don't.
Fine.
But I think we reached to an agreement here,
Yes.
and we can discuss some later details here. But I think if we put in.
But I'm interested in finishing the number 2 part of the
Mm.
deal before this goes on. So I'm interested in laying some solid grounds for future cooperation in the Alzheimer industry,
Mhm.
in the leukemia patients,
Okay.
before signing this deal. I'm not requiring any serious stuff. I can give you access to our facilities. We can take a look on your portfolio, and you can sign an agreement that whatever process that you made won't be stolen by us.
Mhm.
So it would be really.
So this is something I think I mean
You
I
need
had
to go back to the
research
management.
that we can discuss. But I think the overall deal
We
structure
can say that
sounds
we
very
reached a
appealing to
tentative
both of
deal.
us. Yes.
A tentative deal.
Okay.
All right, Rosa.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you. Bye.